What if I told you there's an island so important that losing it for just a few days could send shockwaves through the global oil market? Hidden in the warm waters of the Persian Gulf lies an island that most travelers have never heard of, yet it helps fuel millions of cars, airplanes, and industries around the world. From space, it looks like an ordinary island, but on the ground, it's one of the most heavily protected and strategically important places on Earth. This is Kharg Island, the heart of Iran's oil industry, a place that has survived wars, missile attacks, and decades of geopolitical tension. Few people are ever allowed to visit. Even fewer know what really happens behind its restricted gates. How did this small island become one of the world's most valuable pieces of land? Why has it been targeted during conflicts? And what makes it so important that military powers constantly keep a close eye on it? Today, we're taking you on a rare cinematic journey to discover the hidden world of Kharg Island, an island where every sunrise fuels a nation, every pipeline tells a story, and every moment could shape the future of global energy. Imagine standing in the middle of the Persian Gulf, surrounded by endless blue water. The sun rises over the horizon, giant oil tankers wait silently offshore, and the sound of waves mixes with the distant hum of powerful industrial machines. At first glance, it looks like just another small island. But in reality, this tiny piece of land has influenced global energy markets for decades. Welcome to Kharg Island, one of the most strategically important islands on Earth. Located about 25 kilometers off Iran's southern coast, Kharg Island is far more than a dot on the map. Despite being only around 8 kilometers long, it has become the heart of Iran's oil industry. Every day, millions of barrels of crude oil pass through its massive export terminals before beginning their journey across the world. But Kharg Island wasn't always an industrial powerhouse. Long before pipelines, storage tanks, and supertankers dominated its coastline, this island was home to ancient civilizations. Archaeological discoveries reveal that people lived and traded here thousands of years ago. Because of its location in the Persian Gulf, Kharg became a natural stop for merchants traveling between the Middle East, India, and Asia. Even today, traces of that remarkable history remain hidden among the rocky landscape. As technology advanced and the global demand for oil exploded during the 20th century, everything changed. Engineers recognized that Kharg's deep natural waters made it the perfect location for enormous oil terminals. Massive storage facilities, loading docks, and underwater pipelines transformed the quiet island into one of the busiest energy hubs in the world. Today, giant oil tankers arrive here from across the globe. Some are among the largest ships ever built, carrying enough oil to supply entire countries for days. Every departure from Kharg Island plays a small but significant role in powering cars, airplanes, factories, and cities around the planet. Yet despite its global importance, very few people ever get to see this island. Unlike famous tourist destinations filled with luxury resorts and crowded beaches, Kharg remains heavily restricted. Security is everywhere. Access is tightly controlled, and most visitors require official permission to enter. The island exists almost entirely to serve one purpose: keeping one of the world's most critical energy networks running. Life here follows a completely different rhythm. Thousands of engineers, technicians, and skilled workers live and work around the clock. Day and night, they monitor pipelines, inspect equipment, maintain storage tanks, and ensure that oil continues flowing without interruption. While much of the world sleeps, Kharg Island never truly stops working. But with enormous importance comes enormous risk. For decades, this island has stood at the center of regional tensions, international politics, and military conflicts. Its strategic value has made it one of the most closely watched locations in the Persian Gulf. And that's where our journey becomes even more fascinating. Because in the next chapter, we'll step inside the hidden industrial world of Kharg Island to discover how this small island became the engine behind one of the world's largest oil export systems, and why its operations matter to millions of people far beyond the Middle East. As the first light of dawn spreads across the Persian Gulf, Kharg Island is already wide awake. Long before most cities begin their morning, engineers, technicians, and ship crews are hard at work. Massive control rooms monitor thousands of sensors every second. Pumps roar to life beneath the ground. Pipelines stretch for miles across the island, quietly moving one of the world's most valuable resources toward the coast. This is not just another oil terminal. It is the beating heart of Iran's energy industry. Every day, crude oil arrives from oil fields deep inside the country through an enormous network of pipelines. The journey may begin hundreds of miles away, but almost everything leads to one destination, Kharg Island. Once the oil reaches the island, an extraordinary process begins. It flows into giant storage tanks, each capable of holding millions of barrels. Highly trained specialists constantly monitor temperature, pressure, and safety systems to ensure every stage runs perfectly. Even the smallest technical problem can delay shipments worth millions of dollars. Then comes a final step. Some of the largest oil tankers on Earth slowly approach the island's offshore loading terminals. Guided by experienced marine pilots and supported by powerful tugboats, these floating giants carefully move into position. Thick loading arms connect to the ship, and over the next several hours, millions of barrels of crude oil are transferred on board. When the loading is complete, the tanker begins a journey across international waters, carrying energy that may eventually power cars in Europe, factories in Asia, or aircraft around the world. But working on Kharg Island is far from easy. Summer temperatures often climb well above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. The combination of intense heat, humidity, and industrial operations creates one of the most demanding working environments imaginable. Employees work in carefully organized shifts, following strict safety procedures every hour of the day. Fire prevention is another constant priority. Specialized emergency teams remain on standby around the clock. Advanced monitoring systems, firefighting equipment, and emergency response units are always ready because even a small accident could have enormous consequences. Despite its industrial appearance, the island also has a small residential community. Workers live in housing complexes, children attend local schools, small markets provide daily necessities, and families build their lives in one of the most unusual places on Earth. While enormous oil tankers wait offshore, everyday life quietly continues behind the scenes. Yet everyone living here understands one important reality. Kharg Island is much more than an industrial center. It is also one of the most strategically important locations in the Persian Gulf. Its importance has placed it directly in the path of international conflicts for decades. During times of regional tension, the entire world's attention often turns toward this small island. Military analysts, global markets, and governments closely watch every development because any disruption here can affect energy prices across the globe. For the people who call Kharg home, uncertainty has become part of daily life. They continue working while knowing the island has remained a symbol of both economic strength and geopolitical tension. And in the next chapter, we'll uncover the dramatic history that made Kharg Island one of the most targeted strategic locations in the Middle East, a place that has survived wars, missile attacks, and decades of international pressure while continuing to power a nation. For most islands around the world, the greatest challenge comes from nature, powerful storms, rising tides, or unpredictable weather. But for Kharg Island, the greatest threat has always come from conflict. Its importance to Iran's economy has made it one of the most closely watched strategic locations in the Middle East. Military planners have long understood one simple fact. If Kharg Island stops operating, the effects can be felt far beyond the Persian Gulf. That reality became painfully clear during the Iran-Iraq War in the 1980s. As the conflict intensified, Kharg Island became one of the primary targets. Missile strikes and air raids repeatedly hit the island's oil facilities in an effort to disrupt Iran's economy. Storage tanks burned, loading terminals were damaged, and thick black smoke often covered the sky. Yet something remarkable happened. Despite repeated attacks, workers returned again and again. Engineers repaired damaged pipelines, rebuilt loading equipment, and restored operations with incredible speed. Every repaired terminal became a symbol of determination, proving that the island would continue operating even under extraordinary pressure. The war eventually ended, but Kharg Island's strategic importance only continued to grow. As global energy demand increased, millions of barrels of crude oil once again flowed through its terminals. Around the world, governments, shipping companies, and financial markets watched the island closely because any disruption could influence international oil prices within hours. In recent years, regional tensions have once again placed Kharg Island under the global spotlight. Whenever military activity increases in the Persian Gulf, analysts immediately begin asking the same question. Even the possibility of disruption can send energy markets into uncertainty. Shipping companies review their routes. Insurance costs rise. Governments monitor developments around the clock. Investors react within minutes. This demonstrates something extraordinary. Although Kharg Island covers only a small area of land, its influence reaches every corner of the global economy. Every departing tanker represents more than oil. It represents energy security, international trade, and the delicate balance that keeps modern industries moving. Today, advanced surveillance systems, coastal defenses, and strict security measures protect the island around the clock. Access remains tightly controlled, and much of its critical infrastructure is protected by multiple layers of security. For the people working there, every day begins with the same mission: keep the energy flowing safely, no matter what challenges appear. From a distance, Kharg Island may look quiet and ordinary, but behind its coastline lies one of the world's most important industrial operations, an island where history, technology, economics, and geopolitics meet in a single location. And now, after exploring its history, its industry, and its remarkable resilience, only one question remains. This is not an island that attracts millions of tourists. There are no luxury beach resorts, famous nightlife, or postcard-perfect vacation villages. Instead, Kharg Island offers something far more extraordinary, a glimpse into one of the world's most important energy lifelines. Every sunrise here marks the beginning of another day that helps power nations. Every departing oil tanker carries more than crude oil. It carries the energy that fuels transportation, supports industries, and keeps modern economies moving. From the highways of North America to the factories of Asia and the ports of Europe, the impact of this small island reaches far beyond the Persian Gulf. But the future of Kharg Island is entering a new era. Around the world, countries are investing billions of dollars in renewable energy. Solar farms, wind turbines, electric vehicles, and cleaner technologies are changing the global energy landscape. Many experts believe that over the coming decades, the world's dependence on fossil fuels will gradually decline. Yet, even with this transformation, oil remains one of the foundations of the global economy. Airplanes still depend on aviation fuel. Cargo ships continue transporting goods across oceans. Heavy industries, manufacturing, and countless essential products rely on petroleum every single day. For the foreseeable future, islands like Kharg will continue playing a vital role in meeting global energy demand. At the same time, technology is reshaping the island itself. Modern monitoring systems, automated loading facilities, advanced safety equipment, and digital infrastructure are making operations more efficient than ever before. Every improvement is designed to increase reliability while reducing operational risks. Despite these advances, one challenge remains constant. Kharg Island sits in one of the world's most strategically sensitive regions. Political tensions, international diplomacy, and global energy markets remain closely connected to everything that happens here. A single development in the Persian Gulf can capture the attention of governments, economists, and news organizations across the globe. And perhaps that is what makes Kharg Island so fascinating. It reminds us that the world's most influential places are not always the biggest, the richest, or the most famous. Sometimes a small island surrounded by blue waters can quietly shape the lives of millions of people who may never even know its name. Kharg Island is more than an oil terminal. It is a symbol of engineering, resilience, and strategic importance. It tells a story of determination through conflict, innovation through necessity, and an incredible connection between one isolated island and the modern world. So the next time you hear about the Persian Gulf, global energy markets, or rising oil prices, remember this remarkable island. Because somewhere beyond the horizon, surrounded by endless sea, Kharg Island continues its silent mission, powering a nation, influencing the world, and proving that even the smallest places can leave the greatest impact. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us as we continue exploring the world's most extraordinary places, one incredible destination at a time.